Yo, what's good? I'm Fire here, back from the video answer. We're going to be hopping into our next College Football 26 ebook, which is going to be the Oregon Offensive Playbook. Now, Oregon is definitely one of the best and most popular offensive playbooks in College Football 26. And today we are going to show you guys how to run this offense the best and most effective way. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that like, subscribe to the channel down below. Let me know what you guys want to see next ebook-wise. I'll be dropping an Eagles ebook for Madden next. And yeah, we have this written version for the ebook. That link will be down below in the description and pinned in the comment section. For purchase, it is a really good deal. I've never had a complaint on any of my ebooks. It's $8 and it gives you every single setup that I'm going to talk about in this video in order. And you will have every setup, every coverage that it beats, Xbox, PlayStation. It is just very easy to reference, and it makes learning so much faster and so much more effective, especially if you watch the video at the same time. So, what do we like out of Oregon? It starts with the Bunch Str Offset is our main bread and butter. I like the normal Y off close. I like the Y off trips, and then the last formation I like is this trips head end offset weak. So, of course, we will be starting out in the Bunch Str Offset, and let's go ahead and set up our audibles here. Now for me, they are already set up. We have dagger, read option, corner strike, and flood. Now we actually do have this RPO alert screen as well, so you know it's kind of a dealer's choice thing, but we'll actually throw it in. It's honestly a pretty good play. The other one that I like is duo, and I'm kind of blocking it with my face cam, but that's okay. We will hop into it. So let's start out in corner strike, which is going to be in the middle here, and that's going to be kind of probably my favorite play, to be honest. Now defensively, I'm going to be just trying to call like some random plays, and then, let's kind of start out with like just a cover 3 and cover 2 and man, and kind of flip things around. So yeah, let's start out in corner strike. Now corner strike is going to be good for our corner route, specifically with this B wide receiver, and I guess I don't probably want to be on the far hash, but this B wide receiver is going to be very effective. So right there with Casper. So the first setup I'm going to run is just drag X, block A, streak Y, and post RB. It's going to look like this. Now the next thing you can also do is custom send B down if you'd like this. So it's going to be kind of like a quick breaking corner route there. And this just has like a lot of options for you. Now you don't have to custom send B, but we kind of, I don't even know why I actually do have that there. That's custom send RB now. But yeah, so we'll drag X. I think I might have actually messed up that setup, so we'll try it again here. I think the other thing you could do is custom send your post down once and twice, get it a little bit shorter. And then get this thing down like all the way. It kind of looks like this. Which gives you like a little shorter post, but really we're trying to hit like the drag, the corner route quick if it ends up being man coverage, or that post is good to like kind of just pull up the zones. I'm gonna turn down my game volume. But yeah, let's try it against a cover 2. So again, I'm gonna post RB. I can custom send RB down once or twice if I want. It's gonna look like this, a little bit shorter. We streak Y, drag X, and then I like to custom send B down to about here. It's gonna look like this. Boom. You can hit him on the sideline against certain coverages, cover 2, cover 3. Right there we were able to. And that was cover 2. Now man coverage, he should be pretty good against as well on this route, as should your post. So it's gonna look like here. Boom. And he's like takes almost like a dead step, and then he breaks, and it's really effective. I'm sure you guys have seen the corner route, just like be on the corner and then the custom stem, kind of popular going up the field, but this one's a little bit better because it's actually going to the sideline. So next setup is going to be slot fade B. We're going to deep cross RB, streak Y, block A, and put X on just a little out route. It's going to look like this. So more of a man beater with this particular setup, I would say, but against like certain press zones, again, it obviously can be effective. So if we're running cover 3 defense, then I would have hit this route early. Honestly, I do think it's just better against man, but you do have like certain options, like the quick out. I'm sure I could have hit. Could just hit this route, boom. You have, of course, your deep cross, which sometimes can get open. I do think this is more of like a better cover 4 and man coverage setup. Mainly for trying to hit this slot fade. A little bit of bad pass there, so he doesn't catch it, but yeah, so that's kind of that setup. Not my favorite setup, but I did throw it in there just in case it's another like kind of man beater. You have the deep cross that can get open. I'm sure it was open on that play. I just didn't look there necessarily. Now our next setup is going to be comeback X, post RB, drag A, streak Y. Now we're getting into more of the kind of traditional setups that you guys have seen me run before. So drag, post. I love these running back streaks in both college football and in Madden. They are just super effective. So definitely want to take advantage of those. Now, of course, not great against man, but against zone, they are very, very solid. So again, I'm dragging A, post RB. X is on a corner, but I like to come back it, just get it a little bit better. So here we get kind of bumped just because of the defensive line, how the defensive line is spread out. I'm sure you guys will see that a lot. But yeah, let's run it against cover 2. Of course, if it was man, then the corner out's more in play. Against these zone coverages, the corner out on the right, not as much of an option. Just to be honest with you guys, but really we're looking for A, RB, or Y. Really just whichever one he doesn't use her. There we're able to hit that post. Of course, our drag sitting wide open and our streak open on that play as well. So a lot of options for us here to take advantage of. And that is a very good play. Next setup is going to be comeback X, flat B, zig RB, post A. It's going to look like this. Now, one of the best zone coverage speeder simple setups in the game is this little zig flat combo. It's really effective, and I'm glad they put the flats back into the game because it just makes this setup so much more viable. Really good short yardage, really good red zone setup. A lot of options, and of course, you're going to throw the zig every single time if he doesn't user it. Now, if he does user it, then you still have like other options. And look at the spacing we get out there with the flat route. The zig gets really open. So here is cover 2. You'll see that the zig is open as well. I probably won't throw it just because we have been throwing it a lot. But for example, I mean, we could hit that and pick up about the same amount of yards that the zig gets. Of course, against man coverage, this setup will do you pretty solid as well, depending on, hopefully your R1 receiver can get open. But running back's open, tight end should be able to get some separation. He doesn't there, but in normal cases, I would hope he's able to get a little separation on that. So overall, good setup there. Next setup is going to be drag X, streak RB, post A. So kind of like a 2 drag setup with a post, still have the corner route. So good setup here. Now, in years past, that corner would be open with nothing behind it. It's not really as open, unfortunately. But, yeah, so drag X, streak RB, post A. And this does really open up our tight end. I threw that pass really poorly, but he was open there, so overall, definitely at least an option to hit. Let's run it against cover 2. Now, if that's press cover 2, that route will be a little bit more open. It's a little bit of a tighter pass against backed off cover 2, but of course, still an option to pass it to. Man coverage, this would be a really fun setup because the streak can get open against press man. The corner should get open. Really, every route on the field should get open, especially this route. Now, we had a poor throw, but separation was definitely there. Let's move on. And again, I'm going to keep a pretty quick pace, and the reason for that is just because we have so many setups. So next setup, drag X, post A. We're going to flat Y, streak RB, and then I like to smart route B. Just going to get him a little bit deeper there. And this can kind of create an option for a cover 3 beater. It can kind of create an option for this guy to be a little bit more open. So here's a look. Again, we'll see if we get enough time here to pass. We get shedded again. but he can kind of get open there, depending on where the safety's coming from. He's probably a little bit better. Cover 2, this definitely should work with him getting over the top. Flat route should be open in most cases too, but definitely able to get over the top there. I mean, the flat is open and the drag is open, and I'm sure the post was open too. Of course, against man coverage, this deeper route will get open, but of course you need to, have patience with it. The flat will not be great for us against man, but other routes should kind of make up for it. Throw it on break and you get nice separation. Doesn't seem like Casper is a great route runner anyway, and he's even able to get at least a little bit of separation for us. Anyways, next setup is just going to be to stock post RB and kind of just good quick snap setup. You want to hit him in that window exactly how I did. Make sure you wait for those zones to catch on to the running back route. They're going to come down a little bit, and then you're going to be able to throw that over the top. So again, just a good quick snap setup. I mean, you have options out here as well. I don't love that spacing with the flat and the corner route stock, but most cases it'll open up the flat just a little bit for like these little quick out routes, and boom, good rack. Now we have one of the better tight ends in the game in Oregon here, but most tight ends will be able to at least pick up 5 or 6 yards on that, I would assume. So use that to your advantage. Now, man-to-man coverage, I like this as a quick snap play too, just because you have post, running back route, and this little corner route. So a lot of routes that should get open. There we see the post getting open. Running back route was open. Corner route would have been open as well. Next setup, drag X, streak A, post RB, and flat Y. So kind of a little bit similar to that one we ran earlier. The difference is RB is on the post instead of A. You want to mix up these players on the post routes so that he isn't able to adjust if he's manning up certain players on certain routes. You're able to switch it up and just kind of catch him off guard a little bit. So throwing that pass in the middle of the field, it's just, I like it more for man too. If you're facing man, I would prefer this setup because I think that my slot receiver should hopefully have a better chance of getting open against the man-to-man coverage rather than the tight end, of course. But this drag is really going to be open every time, so if you're able to at least bait his user a little bit with the vertical streak or the post, then you can take advantage in that way. Let's run it against our man-to-man coverage here, and let's press. I mean, the tight end streak could also get open if it is cover 0. Now, if you're facing a blitz, of course, it would make sense to just block your halfback here, but does not matter. So that was pass interference, dude. He would have gotten open. I mean, the tight end would have got open. Again, we do have a safety in the middle of the field there, but you guys can understand. Next setup is going to be drag X, corner RB, streak A, block Y. This is kind of a little bit of a weird setup. It's not my favorite, but usually it can be effective. More so, I think, against cover 2 than cover 3. So here's cover 2. I think that we're able to usually hit this player over the top, and for whatever reason, he gets just a little bit more open than he was like with some of the other setups. As far as hitting RB, I think it's usually a little bit tougher. This setup was a little bit better, I think, last year, but I still like to, and this is the wrong coverage. Again, cover 3, it's not going to be great for us, but cover 2, and then against man, it can work as well. 2 corner routes, hopefully one of them gets open, right? So if you wait, you can definitely hit him on the sideline the way we did there. Now you will need a little bit of time, so make sure you are always stepping up in the pocket. Do not scramble out for this. Step up in the pocket. It's a lot more effective than running around and getting sacked a ton. So anyways, our next setup is going to be flat Y, drag A, streak RB, smart out B. Just gonna look like this. Overall, just simple setup. We're looking for A or B/Y. Just depends on who he uses, of course. If I'm able to hit this guy, I will gladly take 4 or 5 yards. Now he gets bumped, and this will freaking happen a lot because of the spacing of the D lineman once again. But this is a decent quick snap setup as well. I mean, gladly take your running back for 5 yards, and then you're giving him one-on-ones against cornerbacks. So if you have someone that is a little bit stronger, they can definitely, break those tackles. So, and again, you don't have to smart out B if you don't want to. It's a dealer's choice. It's going to get a little bit more open against cover 2 if you do. But against man, you may want the shorter one, depending on how much time you're going to get. So here's cover 2, of course. Running back is wide open, but the corner out is equally as open. And yeah, so we have one more setup for corner strike. I know it's been a while, but we have the most setups by far out of corner strike. The other plays in bunch will not be as much, but of course bunch will eat up the most of this video because it is the best formation in this offense, in my opinion. Last setup, we're going to streak, or we're going to drag RB. We're actually going to motion him over. So we're going to motion him to this left-hand side. And then what we're going to do is drag A. We're going to speed out B. We're going to put Y on a wheel, and then we're going to post X. So this is a this literally is the normal Y off close formation, but just in bunch form. And this is kind of valuable because you can create some of these concepts, and they're pretty effective. You'll see later in the video when we actually talk about normal Y off close, but using this is valuable. And we're mainly looking for our wheel here, but I mean, these 2 drags will be open really all day. Now, spacing-wise, it's a little bit worse than normal off close, so for whatever reason, that route actually didn't get as open as I would have thought against the cover 3, but that's fine. Let's run cover 2. I think it could be due to the out route, but you would have thought that guy would have taken the drag. You would have, but I guess just throw the drags. I mean, I don't know. This wheel route does get open. I don't understand why he's not getting open. Maybe I need to put B on a flat or something, because he should be open enough on that route. I'm not entirely sure. I think if maybe we had a little bit more room, whatever the case is, I'm sure you guys have seen those routes. Usually they're open. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. It's not my favorite setup. It's at the last. It's last for a reason, so no sweating on that. Let's run our next play, which is going to be flood. Now, flood is going to be probably my second favorite play. Now, I'm unfamiliar with the speeds of these players, but I may want to get someone else out here. Yeah. Why are you not in the game? I don't know why they had that 78 overall receiver. He was playing like a 78. I could tell he was. But let's run flood on the left here. Just weird. Weird. Gonna kind of do. Now, flood is good for a number of reasons. B is going to be kind of our key route. This slot fade, very good against press man, good against press zone. Overall, a very good clear out to open up different routes like our corner routes. So the first setup that I run, which is kind of a weirder setup, is to slot fade RB, return B, custom stem A. We're going to go down once and twice. It's going to look like this. And then we are going to, I was looking at the wrong setup, sorry. Now we're just going to put X on like a little out route. So it's going to look like this. Again, X is kind of a good option to just look and snap the ball to him. Like, for example, throw this. He's a good option to do that, especially if he's playing off coverage. Now, if he starts pressing, that's when you start throwing streaks out of dagger, which you will see next play. But again, I'm going to go down once, twice. I'm going to slot fade RB and return B. It's going to look like so. And maybe I went down a little bit too much. You could go with a little bit higher on the corner route. It's kind of hard for me to freaking custom stem when I can't see the gosh darn play. I don't know why that's still a thing where you hold L1 and you cannot see the depth that you're stemming the route to, in practice mode at least. But here's cover 3. Obviously, we're looking for this tight end to get open, and he usually does pretty good. The slot fades a lot better at clearing out than your traditional streak. Now, this fade that we have out of this play is kind of an outlier because it is a fade, but that's a route that you can't hot route. That is traditionally a little bit of a better route to use. So we're going to slot fade RB. Again, I customs down once and twice. And of course, you know, trying to show the gosh darn depth, and I can't see, whatever. But yeah, B is a good option as well. Like, I'm sure he was open there. Here is cover 2. But A is really who you want to hit with this play. You can try and scramble out, step up again, and we're able to hit him. Now we don't have an underneath route, so of course it may be just a little bit longer to hit that player. And I could even go a little bit deeper with it if I would like. Here, now man-to-man coverage, I wouldn't love this play, but our slot fade definitely can get open. Our return should get open, and our corner route should get open as well. So here's man-to-man coverage. And the return was the only one that got open. Awesome. The weird pressing and pass interference and bumping in this game is one of the most frustrating things. Like oh my, whatever. Let's run our next setup. Next setup is going to be comeback X. We're going to post RB. We're going to actually custom send that up once and twice, and then we're going to drag A. It's going to look like so. So here we're trying to hit RB. This works as a cover 3 beater. Now, will we get enough time? Probably not, but we will see. And I maybe custom stemmed him up a little bit too much there. We'll find out. Again, awesome. I can't freaking see. That looks like a little bit of a better depth, to be honest. Again, I can't freaking see what I'm doing, but this looks better. So, try and snap. And I'm shedded. Awesome. Well, I don't know why it's not getting open. This play worked. I don't know why. Whatever. Oh my god, dude. Like, if he doesn't get open, like, where you kind of want him, what you can do is almost just throw him as a regular post. This isn't really going to work against cover 2, but, like, I could just kind of throw him here, and then he's fine. So, yeah, might not get open normally, but, you know, I'm just hearing weird noises, whatever. And usually that route does get open in game. I don't know why it's not working here. Maybe it's if I'm on the right hash it would help, but, you know, whatever. Next setup, let's get into the setups that actually consistently work out of flood, where we corner RB, we post A and drag X. Very bread and butter setup. And this is going to work because of Stewart. He's on this fade, and this is going to work wonders for us. And this is really the best way to open up a corner route against cover 3. Having that fade, again, it's not something you can hot route, which makes these plays very valuable, especially out of a formation like bunch. Cover 2 will work the same. This play would work against cover 2 with a regular streak, but I'm blocking 6 against 4. Why is my running back blocking air, dude? Like, what are we doing? Now, another good thing about this little fade is that it should get open against press man a lot. Now he's going to get bumped 20 times, but he does get... Guess my QB doesn't have throw power. Let's try and run like a man blitz. I know I'm not going to get enough time to throw this, but, you know, hopefully our fade just gets a normal freaking release for once. He does, and you saw he was open. What is going on? Like, what is going on, dude? What is happening? Now, man coverage, again, is probably the best way to run this because these guys, like, corner out should get open. This post should get open. I don't know why. Apparently, Utah's the greatest defense ever. Dude, like, what is going on? Okay, our next setup is going to be... that will be a pretty good setup against cover 4 too, but let's refocus here. The next way to run that would be pretty much to do the same thing, but to just add a flat route. So again, obviously this worked against cover 3, but I didn't actually really show this part of it, which the drag and the post should work well together. And again, if he like runs out there with his user, then you know, feel free to or if he runs out to the corner out with his user, then you can definitely hit these other routes like the drag and the post. So obviously you would just simply throw it where he is not. Cover 2, this will open up our flat route in the, like here. I mean, both players really open Y, RB, and X. So again, you're just going to throw it where he is not. If he runs with the corner out, then you can just simply hit underneath. And again, he could be zone dropping to different depths. Keep that in mind. Now, man coverage is going to be kind of the same thing. We want our flood, but we have like drag, post, corner out. Hopefully some of these guys can actually get open. This is the route that like really should be working. And we get another bad throw. This QB, I don't know what's going on. I don't know how he recovers and actually sticks his hand out. That was free-formed. But, you know, I like hitting this post if you're able to. Vertically. I feel like a lot of times you'll see him either go corner route with his user and then jump out of the drag. So you can throw those other routes. Anyways, next setup would be just a good quick snap setup would be to just drag X. Get to the line, snap the ball. We're looking for A or X here really. Because the depth of this corner out, he cannot user both players. So if you get to the line, just snap the crap out of the ball. Then this route gets really wide open. Nice catch, dude. This game is amazing. But cover 3, drag. I mean, RB is an option to hit late. I mean, RB is really good at like holding down those zones. Look at the way he held down the curl flat there. Because they need to go up against like Appalachian State or some of these trash teams to actually get time to throw a simple route. I'm going to go to a 3-man rush after this play because I'm just so gosh darn sick of having no gosh dang time to throw. But, you know, it's a good quick snap play for what it is. It'll be open against cover 2 and cover 3 the same way that our corner route with the slot receiver was open against those coverages. So just keep that in mind. Another good quick snap setup would be just to come out here and put A on the quick corner route. You have your backside dig. That should work well. You still have your fade. You have this corner route. That's just going to be quicker breaking, and you can hit it kind of early against zone. That's a green throw. I don't know why it's overthrown. But, I mean, there was a little bit of a worse almost release situation. But I would throw this one early. If not, let's try cover 2. Cover 2, I mean, we got this early. I would probably take this. I don't know that that corner out, because it's coming too far from the slot, it's a little bit shorter, would get open against cover 2. But it should be good against man because, again, this player with the tight end obviously can't get pressed. So he's going to get... I can't throw the ball right now, dude. So our last setup is going to be post A, flat Y, choice. I guess we don't have the choices anymore, but curl, custom stem, down, RB, like so. And then put B on like a regular curl and X on a fade. I'm going to motion this player over. So we have a really good high-low between A and RB. Y and B work well together as well, and I could custom send B down if I'd like as well. It just depends on like what he's doing. Here, RB is wide open, and A would get open late. Again, I have no time to pass, and I'm going to have to QB spy every player on the field. All right, so, yeah, all these guys are QB spied now. Let's run it. So with that curl, it's kind of weird. It does depend on the coverage. Honestly, I'm probably going to adjust this setup in the way it's written in the ebook just because I think these hitches are way better. So you saw A was going to be open. Of course, our B was open. B would be open too against that cover 3, but we're going to run cover 2 here. Oh, awesome. But look at A. I need to check the overalls of these dudes. This is not even on Heisman difficulty. It's crazy. They play that surprisingly well. So maybe against cover 2, this regular curl is better. I guess we'll find out. This will be the last setup I run. I promise you, before I switch to a 3-man rush. Nice throw, dude. This. All right, let's hop into Dagger. All right, guys, here we have Dagger. Now, Dagger is going to be a very, very good play for us for a number of reasons. The big reason is going to be that slot fade, or that, not slot fade, but the stock fade we have on the left-hand side. Very, very dangerous route. Because, again, if I put X on a fade, it looks like this, and this route not nearly as dangerous as the one without the delayed release. Quicker is always better. So, first setup that I like to run, and we're gonna run cover 3 here. But first setup I like to run, and I like to actually run this on the short side of the field, is to slot fade X, drag B, post A, and then custom stem A down just one time, a little bit shorter like this. So once again, that is all something. Okay. Now this is usually just a good like vertical looking setup. I want you guys to look at this replay because a lot of times these routes can get open. Like right here, you can kind of hit him. Obviously the streak up the middle is definitely in play as an option to throw the ball to. Now I think the setup would work a little bit better from the other hashed against the other coverages, but I think specifically against our cover 3, it would be a little bit better. So again, we're gonna run it like this, boom. You can almost hit him like again on this sideline. We get a bad pass, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about a little bit now. Let's go into some of the other coverages. Let's go cover 2. And we're gonna run that the same way. Here's cover 2. And cover 2, I believe you could either go up the middle or you could go down the sideline. It's a little bit of a tight pass, I would say. Little bit. Now, the window is interesting because you would think you can kind of throw it early, but like here, it's probably gonna be a pick unless you get a really good pass lead. But the later he moves, the more he kind of starts running up the field, and this guy's still going to the sideline. So it's a little bit more in play if we throw it later. And honestly, this could be a little bit better from the short side too. I'm not 100% sure on that, but let's try it again. Of course, I think if it's pressed, it's gonna only work a little bit better. Like boom, kind of hit him there. So very solid like stock setup using those slot fades. Against man, you got a streak, you got a slot fade, those should do well. Anyways, now our first setup is going to be just deep cross, or I guess our second setup is going to be deep cross RB. This is a good standard setup. The fade on the left works really well with the deep cross. So if we just come out here, this is a cover 4 drop defense that I'm in, by the way. And that route just gets really open. It's important that our bunch is on the wide side when we are running this setup with the deep cross. And the reason for that is just so that we get the least amount of time possible, because if he's on the far right in this case, it would take a lot longer for him to get across and get open. So boom, even with an awful pass lead there, should have pass lead to the sideline, not up, we still get it open and it still works pretty well. Now, the other routes we have are this drag that's usually going to be solid, and this little weird delayed, like almost streak in route with A. Usually that's not open, but it does depend. Let's say his user bails immediately and jumps or goes with our deep cross, then it actually is potentially an option to throw it to. So that was all cover 4. Let's go cover 2 here. And it wasn't match cover 4, just like a cover 4 drop. But, I mean, here, of course, my crosser will end up usually getting open, but I'm more than able to just check it down to the drag against the Tampa 2. Tampa 2 is the one defense that the Cloud Flat actually sometimes does run far back enough to maybe make a play on that. So here's cover 3. Cover 3 will work very similarly to the cover 4 we saw, but this route is just more open. Our crosser will be open too. Next setup is going to be literally the same thing. We just add a flat with the running back, just gives us another option, maybe hesitates his user just a second to go to the running back, and then the deep cross is kind of forgotten about and will get open. So, boom, hit him over the top, just like so. So overall, I mean, it is just a very frustrating play, specifically because of the quick snap factor. I mean, I know how annoying as a defensive player it is when you're trying to set up a defense and someone just goes to the line and like snaps the crap out of the ball, and you're like, well, now I have my D-line in this wrong area. Now my blitz isn't going to come through. Now my coverage isn't set up, and this player isn't in this zone. So now I have to user that side. Just weird stuff like that happens. So, you know, with these setups, they're intended to be quick snaps. That means don't do 20 adjustments with your offensive line. Like, get to the line, snap the ball. Anyways, next setup is going to be deep cross RB. I'm going to block A and I'm going to wheel Y. This is more intentional for man coverage, and I should have kind of showed this first, but I want you... Do we not have a man coverage option? Now we're going to blitz, and this will probably come through, but I want you to watch X, because he should get open against man on this little fade, and he does do his job just like so. So that slot fade, you really can't press it, and that's where the corner strike setups, if you remember, I was talking about off coverage and throwing that out route. Now, if they press, we go over the top with dagger. If they play it back, you can just simply throw that out route 20 million times until he's forced to press again, or press and then play a safety in deep half over the top or something like that, which is going to open up your middle of the field, or your corner route's going to the right. Overall, an absolute nightmare for a defensive player that's really trying to adjust. So I'll run that blitz again. Now, will I have enough time to throw this wheel? Probably not, but the wheel is a good option against man if you can get enough time. We actually do. Boom. And he drops the ball in fittingly fashion, but yeah, you can see that the wheel should get open. The deep cross, of course, gets open. This drag will, of course, get open. Very good man setup. And against zone, I mean, you got deep cross, drag. The wheel doesn't do much for you against zone, to be honest. Next setup is going to be drag X. We're going to speed out B, post A, in wheel Y. It's going to look like so. Now, this is an interesting looking setup. You could really run the setup out of any play, right? Because you can hot route RB on a streak. But this wheel route setup was kind of what I was trying to hit out of corner strike that was giving us issues for whatever reason. But this is like how they normally work. I don't know why I was having any issues, but very good kind of quick snap play. Should be good against cover 3, cover 2. Again, I like to passy this inside. You probably want to throw it a second earlier. Sometimes it can get open later. So I would probably just say practice that is a good rule of thumb. Of course, post-drag combo, very dangerous. And then you have the streak up the middle, which is just going to help with your spacing. But boom, able to passy that inside. Hit him, and you actually get some run after catch, which is nice. And then let's show it against our cover 4 drop here. And we can kind of... Now I get a really bad throw again. My timing sucks right now. I don't know why I can't freaking complete a pass on... But drag's wide open this route. I freaking sail it again. Why am I struggling to throw the ball right now? God damn, dude. Anyways, our last setup is going to be at least you guys see it's open, even if I'm not able to complete some of the passes because of pressure or bad throws. You can see that these routes are open, so I hope that at least helps. So we're going to speed out B here. We're going to zig RB, drag A, and Texas Y. It's going to look like this. Now you could flat B too, and I'm probably just going to change it to that because if you don't remember, they took away the flats for some reason, and then they brought them back, and so you had to like update your terminology, and so sometimes I still forget about that and like want it to be the other thing, but very good combo. I should have just said RB. The zig flat combo is what we talked about at a corner strike. That is very solid, of course. Here's Tampa 2, and then you still have the sock fade on the left as an option as well. So there's the Texas route. Drag, of course, going to come across against cover 2, get open as we know. Didn't mean to do that, but it's almost like a delay fade option, that A route, which is a little bit interesting. Let's show it one more time and go to our cover 3 here. So RB wide open, just would take him. Flat really open as well. Now let's quickly talk about some of these runs before we go into our next formation here. So again, I mentioned we have the RP alert screen. The other run I like is dagger. You have the read option, or not dagger, but duo. So come on, duo. We have the RP alert screen, and then you have the read option. All kind of like self-explanatory type plays. So your read option, I don't know why. There's space like that. But of course, keep it with your QB as an option. Just kind of your basic inside zone. Again, I like the other runs better, but if you have a mobile quarterback, this is a good play. The run I like the best is duo. Very just solid run. This is not necessarily in every bunch strong offset, so I like to take advantage. It's just a really good run. It's like an 0-1 trap or a halfback power, but you don't have the pulling guard, so you don't have the nonsense that comes with that where they'll miss their blocks or they're so slow that, you know, the play is blown up by the time they get off the line. So you can see the success we're having against, you know, a decently stacked box to the left-hand side, right? You know, cut it back right too. So just a lot of options. Take advantage of them and use them. Last play is going to be our RPO alert screen. This is good. It's not the best RPO in the game, but it definitely can work depending on coverage. Now, one thing that freaking happens is for some reason these players block like absolute bozos and they'll like run back inside. So depending on the situation, it doesn't necessarily turn out great every time. Like this is more of a traditional defensive look with him pressed, and you can see that, was he not blocked? He looked blocked. I don't know why he was blocked and then he wasn't. So be careful, because you can throw interceptions. Now if it's off cover 2 or something, where then maybe you can hit it quickly, but it's a little bit risky. Practice it yourself, of course, and see which run play you like the best. Throw it in your audible spot. So let's hop into our next formation, which is going to be normal Y off close. Now, normal Y off close is my favorite formation in Madden right now. But, of course, a lot of this translates from both games. Now, the plays that I like are going to be the Y sail play in the middle, mainly. I like this shuffle angle Y wheel on the right. And then I like mesh spot in the middle. Now, it's a bummer we don't have a few of those really good plays. Cheat flat X post. We don't have escape. We don't have red zone scissors. So it's a little bit lacking, but we can still build a solid scheme around this formation with those 3 plays. So, of course, your audibles will look like this. And then for run plays, you can throw in like inside zone or read option, whatever you'd like. I thought we had a read option, no? Okay, there's read option. Alright, so your audibles would look like so. Now we're going to start on the Y sail again. I think it's the best play in my opinion. Let's go back to the 4-man rush, see if it's different. Now, first way to run this would be to come out here and just snap the ball, run it stock. Hope your tight end doesn't get bumped 20 times by a hook curl 30 yards down the field. And pass freaking interfered. Why is pass interference in this game? It is illegal. It is not legal. It is not legal in the sport. Why is it allowed in the video game? Why is it allowed? What is going on with your collisions? How did you code the game that this crap happens ever? Freaking poorly developed game, dude, I swear. These lazy developers. That's how it should work. And it actually gets open and it actually works. So the corner out's mainly what you're running stock, but you have the flat. That's going to be a walk-in kind of 5 yards for us. And then over here, you have the hitch. In a perfect world, I'm trying to custom stem wide down and get him as a better option because that's going to open up X. He was open there. He has awful route running and can't run an in route. But pulling him down definitely does help. Now here's cover 2. Cover 2 is going to be, again, A should be our guy. But X should get open if he can run this route. A little bit of a faster pace than a sloth, which eventually he does. So, yeah, I mean, man coverage wouldn't run this play stock against. But, boom, you get enough time, you're able to slide up in the pocket, and it can be a definite successful play. Another quick snap setup would be just to zig Y. This gives you a little bit of a better man coverage setup, a little bit more of an option against that. With this underneath zig, you can hit it either earlier or wait a little bit. That's cover 3, of course. Here is cover 2. And again, against those coverages, we know that our corner out would get open. So, no need to necessarily talk about that. But corner out, the zig just adds a little bit of a different option, kind of a quicker setup, because that in route takes 20 years to get open, depending on who you have there. And again, they don't put the best receiver. Why is Oregon's best receivers not on the field? God only knows. But like man coverage, A is going to get open against man, but you're going to need a lot of freaking time. And if it was man, I would definitely block RB. I'm not going to do it here, but we're not going to get enough time anyway, so it doesn't matter. But he was open on that play, if you noticed. And that was, I guess, cover 3 match because, we don't have normal man coverage. And my running back's blocking nobody, but thankfully I'm able to actually get the ball off. 6-man rush versus 6-man protection, by the way. This game is just programmed very, very effectively. Let's take a look here at what happens. So he's going to go double team somebody that is already getting blocked. Instead of just, blocking at number 3, who is actually going to free rush, and, 71 gets instant shedded or disengaged. So he isn't blocking anybody, and he actually ends up getting 3 people free because 74 has to pick up 71's player that really he should have taken. 71 should take, whatever. If he's going to pull out, 71 should take the closest guy to him in normal blocking logic, but whatever. Next setup for this would be drag Y, post X, block RB. True flood concept. If you could roll out in this setup, I would try to. Like you got Y or A. And again, as far as the drag and the post go, you're going to want to throw it to the one that he doesn't user. So if he users Y, you're going to try and hit X. A, hopefully he doesn't user at all. It's a very deep corner route, so he's going to really have to sprint with it right away and follow it through. So just keep that in mind. The post, it's a little bit inconsistent with how open it kind of gets, Sometimes it's open, sometimes it's a little bit not open. I want to try it against cover 3 again. So against cover 3, you can see a little bit more open than cover 2 as an option. But drag, I like the late option of the drag kind of coming across there with the corner route. If you have to check it down to the drag, you can, but the corner route's really, of course, who we want to try and hit. Man, I don't love this setup against man, but you know, it could beat, man, with just the post and the drag in the corner and the slot fade. Now, this slot fade is similar. Again, we have an awful receiver at that spot that I need to take out after we talk about Wysale, but even he is able to actually get some separation, although he did catch it. So that's a similar fade to the one we had out of Dagger, just from the slot position. So next setup is going to be, we're going to just custom stem Y down, get that hitch a little lower, and then we're going to put B on like a curl, custom stem it down, get him on a hitch. So here, really, we're just looking for these hitches. I mean, both of them are open. That's the design of the play. We have those stuff over the top. Could the tight end or the flat route be open? They could, but we're trying to hit these hitches. Like, this is a very underrated concept and something that you can't really do in Bunch with these little routes. Like, and you could hit them early. You could even wait and see maybe if your other routes would be open. Again, timing, it does depend on like how much protection you're getting. If you want, you could like, you don't have to custom stem them down all the way. You could maybe leave them up one above the lowest, just so they catch the ball at a higher depth. Maybe they pick up a few more yards. So, I mean, this is going to really work against every coverage. Now, I wouldn't run the setup ever against man. I'll let you guys know that. But here's cover 2. It just depends on, you know, here we're going to hit this post or in route, actually. Again, he's running this route like a 60 overall. And, you know, frankly, I'm sick of how he's running this route, and I'm just going to take him out right now. Like, you don't deserve to be on the football field, my friend. And you can actually run the fade. Sure, that's fine. Now, the next setup is going to be a short side setup, and we're going to actually use that fade kind of similarly to how we used it in Dagger, but we're going to use it to try and open up our crosser. So we're going to put Y on a cross, and then what we're going to do is put X on just an in route, block A. So I don't have to be far on the right. Obviously, it's only going to help the further you are, but obviously just kind of hitting it the same way we did on the sideline there. The fade gets up the field. And I mean, heck, you have some decent options. Running back route, you have this little in route with Stewart. I mean, he is going to be like an option, of course, throw the ball too. You could go drag if you want. I kind of like the in route for a little bit of a slower start on that. But just keep that in mind. And I mean, it's going to work well against most coverages. I think this would work even better against cover 2 than the other one did. Just because that fade is now from not the far outside. He's kind of in the slot there, so it actually works a little bit better than Dagger did against cover 2, because the cloud flat was like bumping and running all the way up the field that our deep cross wasn't actually open. So man coverage, again, a little iffy on this one, but the deep cross, of course, can get open in your slot fade route can get open as well. In route should get open too, so definitely have options. Let's move into our next play, which is going to be mesh spot, which is definitely a fun setup built around the wheel. So we're going to be going back to kind of our wheel route concepts that we talked about out of the previous plays. Let's respot the ball here. So again, you're going to want the running back to the wide side of the field, get him some more space. So our first setup is going to be just to post X, slot fade Y, drag B, streak A. Now this is a match setup, and of course, I don't know if I have match. I have cover 6. Maybe this will work against that. But normally what I noticed is this slot fade and this tight end route get open. Now, I didn't get enough time to pass there, but I think you kind of saw that. So again, drag B, slot fade Y, post X, and then streak A. Now this is traditional cover 3, unfortunately, but I mean, the slot fade actually still gets open. I don't love this setup against cover 3 or 2, and in the ebook it only says like cover 4. Obviously cover 6 kind of covers that basis, but let's just run it again here. So boom, I mean, the slot fade really opened for a touchdown and the streak. just a random cover 4 beater I found when I was running this formation, and I played cover 4, so I threw it in there. Next setup would be a good quick snap setup just to post B. 2 drags in your wheel route. I mean, you're going to hit this post late as an option if you have to, but we do have, you know, those drags that are kind of intentionally the routes we want to hit. So, boom. The wheel routes usually help to kind of almost clear the way for your drags. They can also help pick up blocks for those players. So, you know, you want to use those. Could you quick snap this play here? You absolutely could. You'll take 5 yards. Let's run it against cover 2. Now, again, our post should be open and maybe a little bit of a tighter throw, but overall should be fine. You almost have to undercut the mid-read. If he's in an inside third, of course, would be fine. If he's not there, then, of course, it would be even better. And again, a lot of these plays will be more open than the way you actually see me running them, and the reason for that is just because they'll be more open because there's a user, so it's going to be kind of obvious that he's going to probably go with the drags here. So simply throw it to the person that he's not using, and that'll come with just online reps and practice with the formation. But next setup is going to be post A, speed out B. Here's where we get our wheel route integration. Why does this dude sail so many passes, man? I think it's probably because I'm under pressure every play. But yeah, wheel route works well against cover 3. Number 9 is throwing a tantrum. But, I mean, drag is really going to be open. Post should be open as well. Boom. That was cover 2. And it was wide open against cover 3 as well. Anytime there's a backside drag, the post should be open against those kind of coverages. Let's run it against cover 2 again and show this wheel route option. A little bit more covered here, so I would just check it down to my drag. And again, drag or post, one of them is open. We're going to throw it to the one that is not usered. So, follow the user. I'm assuming he's going to try and maybe jump drag, go to post, or jump drag, stick with drag. So, that'll be kind of your progression. We have one more setup for this play, and what we're going to do is to let's post B. We're going to actually corner Y, and then we're going to flat RB. Now I'm going to custom set Y to kind of the lowest here. This is a good setup against like cover 4, kind of quick snap options. Boom. Man could work against. That was cover 3. I mean, it even worked against that, but the normal corner out can also work with that fade over there on the left. I didn't throw it in here, but it is an option, of course. So again, I mean, other than that, you have your basic drag that's going to come across the field and get open. This post can get open late. Now, I'm never going to get enough time to throw this, so I'm going to have to spy every player on the field again. Let's just blitz 1. Let's see how long it takes the one-man rush. I bet he probably still gets home. But if we get enough time, you'll see B acts as a crosser, and we'll get open on the sideline there. Boom. So maybe that's why you go a little bit underneath with the corner route, would be to open up that as an option. And cover 2 should work kind of the same. Now this kind of corner route could be a little weird against that, but drag should be open, and then post should come across open late too. And I mean, you have the running back flat as well. So let's hop into our last play for passing. Shuffle angle Y wheel. It's going to be on the right side there. Now with this play, what I like to do for this first setup, we have kind of an interesting motion route, but we're actually going to keep it. And we're going to drag a corner Y, fade X, and we're going to custom send Y down like 1 or 2. And we're just going to run it like this. So this is kind of the motion you see, but honestly, he's kind of cracked to open up as like a Texas route. It's a little bit better than the normal one because he is further out wide. The wider, the better. With those angle routes, of course. So you have a corner out option on the left, and you have kind of B on this weird deep crosser, but he works really well as a clear out option, and technically he can get open in this window there. Now we get another inaccurate ball, because why would we ever just have consistent accurate passes? But he can't kind of work in that way as that route. Now if I was on the right hash, this corner out would be probably a little bit more open, but of course that's not the reality of the situation, so it probably won't be as open. But I mean, drag, I'm gonna respot the ball, I think. I don't know. Let's run man. Let's try man. Now I'm gonna have no time to pass because this is a blitz man. But I mean, B is open, our B is open, our drag open, so good man play as well. Next setup is going to be drag a post Y corner B. Just kind of a weirdly spaced out, but overall kind of successful looking setup, in my opinion. So you have your drag, but what you really want to hit is this post. Now the spacing on that was really, really weird. I almost could have hit the post a little bit earlier. But I mean, if it's like this, I would just hit this route every time. You could hit the kind of post early. That guy's really diving down. This is cover 2. Drag, of course, open. Angle route, I mean, wide open. So, I mean, 90% of the time, drag or angle will be open. You'll be able to throw it to the either one. The post would be more open again. Pretend he's using one of those players. He dives down at the drag. That guy will come across open. He won't be able to recover because he's going to progress from drag to angle probably if he does. So, just kind of, it's hard to imagine the way I'm showing it, but you just got to kind of trust that that's kind of what would happen. Last setup, it's going to be flat B returned Y. This is kind of trying to open up our little seam route with the tight end. Now, against cover 3, it's not the best, but it does work, I think, against cover 2. At least I hope so. And the return is just a good backside option to kind of complement this angle route. So, I mean, I guess he's not... I think he's a little bit better against man, actually, on that tight end route, but he's a good kind of clear out option. I mean, he did open up our little flat there. Let's try and just hit either Y or RB here. Really, both players open. I would definitely just check it down to Y. He's a little bit lower risk of getting hit as he catches the ball. And then against man to man, again, probably won't get time here, and this is my fault because I'm blitzing, but this route sometimes can get open. It's hit or miss. Like most man-beating routes in this game, you know, nothing is consistent, so nothing will consistently beat those coverages, but overall, it's decent. So let's talk about our last thing, the run play. Read option, kind of basic. Now, one thing I like to do with just normal inside zone, if I'm running it, is to untarget this player. This obviously doesn't really matter for the read option, but that usually helps me get better blocks out of the formation. Read option, of course, he's going to be left alone anyway. So, I guess when you run read option, the linebacker doesn't get blocked either. But, I mean, it's a decent run. It's a passing formation, and we don't have an RPO that I really love. So, it's, you know, your run option. You're not going to run the ball really out of this formation, let's be honest here. All right, now we're going to hop into our next formation, which is going to be the Y-off trips. Now, Y-off trips is definitely solid. There is one unfortunate part about this one in particular, and it's that we don't have that RPO peak zone, whatever. It's just not in organs, which is a bummer, but we have duo, which, you know, is a really good run from Bunch Offset. So it's not as good as like the Penn State one, but it's still very solid to mix in. So the audibles will be verticals, Y option, PA post is good. I'm going to throw in duo. You could run inside zone if you prefer. And then I like the flood halfback swing. So these 4, let's start out in the flood halfback swing. Okay. Alright, so flood halfback swing. Actually, that's the wrong order. Again, I'm going off the order in the written version. Make sure you guys get that. So PA double post is actually the first setup. Now, PA double post is good. Our first setup is going to be good. Drag RB and put B on an out route. This is kind of good to attack the seam with our tight end, like so. I threw that probably even a split second late. Still able to complete it. So again, this is a good quick snap setup. Now, you can keep the play action. You don't have to use it. It's a little bit of a risky pass. Maybe works a little better if you're on the far, far left hash. But, you know, I think it's kind of cool to mix in. Most people won't see that. And then, I mean, other than that, you got like your drag and this little other route. This setup is mainly to hit that tight end. Now against cover 2, we'll find out if it gets open. I don't know for sure if it does. I don't think so, but I'd like to double check. Boom. So you can kind of, again, hit him up the middle, especially if he's using like that right player. He's almost 90% going to jump to the drag, not be able to follow that tight end. He's going to think he's on like a little flat route. So that's kind of where it can become good. In practice mode, it's a little bit tougher, but still can get open. Next setup is going to be streak A, drag B, comeback X. This is intended to only work against cover 3, but we're looking for RB here. If this player can't sprint up the field, then boom, very successful. So again, only good really against cover 3, but you know, it's solid. So again, streak A, that's just going to force the inside third to kind of stay home rather than shade over to the left side. Drag, obviously, just gives you another passing option. Comeback is going to open up your post. You don't have to custom stem this one at all. But boom, hit it up the middle. You can throw it earlier. You can try and wait a little bit. You could custom stem it up once again if you prefer. Not going to stop you. And then play action, keep it, leave it, whatever you want. So this is with it custom stem. Looks like it's maybe a little bit more open, but again, not necessary for the play to work, of course. Next setup is going to be drag A, zig RB. Just kind of an intentional quick snap type setup. Now this is intended to open up B. That was a really bad timing route, and I got to get this stupid player out of the game because he just can't run routes. I don't know why Oregon doesn't have their best wide receivers on the field. It's pretty questionable, but whatever. Like, why do we have... Okay, so zig, drag. Again, I like to block Y, and you could always go base pass protection with this play. For whatever reason, they're kind of shaded over to that side. But boom, throw it in that kind of window. A little bit of a hospital pass, depending on the version of cover 3 that they're running, but usually it should be fine to at least get open. Like there, that's a little bit better timing, and it obviously having the good route runner does help. Zig, again, kind of open, and then you have, I mean, just these other like crossers, drags, basic stuff. Depending on who we use, we're really trying to hit B, but yeah, good against cover 3. I wouldn't hate it against man-to-man coverage either. So obviously our zig can hopefully get open, and then we have our post that should hopefully get open as well. So decent play there. And our last setup for this play is to put RB on a curl. We are going to custom stem him down, and then what we're going to do is flat Y, drag A, comeback X. It's going to look like this. This is another good way to open up your post, but he gets open maybe a little later, like here. Inaccurate, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about. As the hook curl falls down to the choice route, actually, then that kind of opens up him. So again, here's a look. Comeback X, just designed to clear him out. You could like streak him too. But that's kind of the route I was trying to hit. Of course, our choice route is open early. If we get pressured, hit that choice route. Depending on the user, obviously, different players can be open, as we know. Here's cover 2. Again, he runs a pretty flat post, so he's usually undercutting that mid-read against cover 2 defense. And, I mean, yeah, just a decent overall setup. I like this setup against cover 4 as well. The drag is, of course, an option. Even though I didn't throw it, it is an option to hit. Next play we're going to run is verticals Y option. Now, this is going to be kind of just a lot of hot routing. Now, the routes that I like in this is kind of the sock table route. These little streaks are kind of nice. So the first setup I would run is just to drag X, post A, corner RB. B is on kind of like a nice fade route out of most verticals plays. That's a little bit better than the fades that you put the players on. So he gets just a quicker release overall. So we're actually able to hit this corner route. Way better than like if I put him on the manual fade route. So it's good for that reason mainly. And then this is almost like a corner strike type setup, right? That we kind of ran a little bit earlier. So drag post concept is going to kind of work the same. Not as good just because of the spacing of these routes as, you know, Bunch was. But post gets open. Corner route will get open against cover 2. Table route, of course, is an option. Now, maybe against cover 2, if he's running a lot of that, custom stem him down 1 could help. Just because that cloud flat follows the streak up quite a bit. Boom. Working well. So, yeah, I mean, overall, decent against man too. Corner out from that position is a little risky to throw if it's going up the field. So just be careful. But next setup is going to be post A. We're actually going to post B. We're going to put RB on a curl, custom stem him down. That's not a curl. That's a curl. And then we're going to bring this player in. We're going to actually motion him in. We're going to put him on a curl, and then we're going to custom stem him down like this. So this is an interesting looking setup. B is going to kind of work the same way out of PA double post, but we're really just looking for these hitches here, to be honest. And then boom, I got lurked. That was a bad read. I needed to throw it earlier, but really I should have just hit the choice route. So I mean here, you see the window for B, what I kind of saw. But choice routes, hit them. Tight end could be open as well. I don't know if he was. I wasn't really looking at that side, but I'm sure he was. So I mean here, kind of the same thing. You see the tight end's open, RB is open. They dive down, vert hooks, dive down on the hitch, and then the post gets open. Wouldn't run it against man particularly though, but I mean technically you have post routes that can beat man. So I will say it could be a man beater. Last setup for this play is going to be deep cross A, post B. We're going to put RB on that curl again, just fade this X wide receiver like so. So this kind of creates more of a deep cross option on the sideline. And then we have our hitch here that's still open, and then this post that can, again, be kind of like an undercut route. So, I don't know if the deep cross got open there. Let's see. So, not really open at all, but, I mean, these routes kind of the same. He's open, he's open. Throw it here, he is more open. If you wait, obviously it's a tougher throw. So, that was cover 3. Here's cover 2. It's probably going to work similarly. But hit him in that window, flat route wide open, hitch route wide open. So good stuff there. Let's hop into our last play, which is going to be the flood halfback swing before we talk about the run plays. So flat halfback swing is good. We have kind of a stock post, stock little spot route, in route, out route. Just kind of want to use those. This is a good stock play against cover 4 if you were trying to run it just against that. I mean, so yeah. So what we do is for this first setup, I like to zig RB, drag A, Texas Y, comeback X, and then smart out B. It's gonna look like this. We're really looking more so for the intermediate stuff. The post can be open, but drag, angle, zig, just like kind of folds we have in all of the other formations, just kind of creating them now in this Y-off trips, like similar stuff we had in the bunch in the normal Y-off close. So, you know, again, come back X, smart out B, drag A, Texas Y. Technically, again, you can like step up and hit him underneath if you'd like. I could have, again, thrown that a little bit earlier. It would have been in a better kind of window. Here's cover 2. RB, obviously wide open. These routes, again, if he's using one of those players, A or Y is going to be open. A was open there. I made the bad read. We still caught it somehow, but this game is not great. So, man coverage, it would be a good setup 2 against man. Obviously zig. This route clearly pretty good against man. Now again, we have a really good receiver there, but you know, it's working. Next setup would be slant A, smart out B, flat Y, smoke screen X. It's gonna look like this. So we have a little flat out route combo and then just kind of a slant smoke screen. One of those routes should be open, so be careful with that. Probably should have been a pick, but make the right read. Then you'll be all good. So over here, it's 90% of the time you're going to hit the running back. The out route will only really help you against man coverage. The corner out would be a little bit better against zone if you wanted it, but I kind of like just trying to open up the running back here. Let's, you know, keep things a little bit simple. Here's cover 2. Running back is going to be open, and then over here, you see the slant is actually going to be the one that ends up getting open, whereas against cover 3 it was the smoke screen that was open. So again, just be aware of what you're facing when that ball is snapped. Boom. Again, if I have to check down for 3 yards, I'm okay doing that to give myself another down. Last setup is going to be zig A, smart out B, streak RB, in route Y. It's going to look like this. This is kind of designed to really hit A or Y if they hopefully don't get bumped. And then X is an option if they're like using one of those players. B, of course, kind of is an option, but he's a little bit tougher with the streak, to be completely honest. So, I mean, tight end here, boom. A little bit unexpected because we haven't really put the tight end on much things besides like post streaks and drags. So being able to mix it up definitely is an effective concept. Here is cover 2. Again, hopefully your running back's able to get out of the backfield smoothly. He's cool for at least a 5-yard catch there. And here's our run play duo. So again, very good run play. It makes up a little bit for not having that RPO, like alert swing or whatever it's called. Of course, you would have preferred the RPO, but I mean, these runs, especially with the running back like Hughes or one of these top running backs, Jeremiah Loves or your Singletons or those types of guys, I mean, this run is really, really hard to stop. Like, the blocking is just so good on it, and it makes it easy. I don't like running the ball. I'm not really great at running the football, and even I am able to read these kind of lanes pretty effectively and obviously. So I think it just makes running easy, and you're more inclined to run if you have something like this. So having this in bunch, having this in Y-off trips reinforces the fact that you should be running the ball at least a little bit. Now let's hop into our last formation, which I don't have many setups for, but just wanted to throw in one more thing just because I don't like only having 3. And we do have an RPO bubble here. We have the RPO read bubble, but this is the trips tight end offset week, which is kind of a fun little formation. I like, I guess I didn't set my audibles again, but I like verticals. I like middle slant, wherever that is, right here. I like the RPO, and then I like Red zone. I like this play. Red zone rub slot wheel. So let's start out in verticals. Now you're going to run this with your trips on the wide side. This is going to be similar to our trips tight end verticals. Again, we don't have trips tight end here, unfortunately. But let's re-spot the ball. This can kind of create a good substitute. So what I would do is just corner A, and this is going to create like your verticals. So what's good against cover 3 verticals? The seam route, of course. So boom. Even with an inaccurate pass, that is what we want to hit. That's how it kind of normally looks. Very good quick snap play because of Hughes' route. It's really solid. Now if they press, take a look at X. He could get open here too. He doesn't, but B is open. Got hit. Here's cover 2. Now cover 2 is where Y can definitely get open in the middle. You just have to hopefully get enough time, which we do, or we don't. But yeah, he really gets open against cover 2. So usually X can beat outside press. Why is that red, dude? Corner out over there by itself, not great. This can happen sometimes, which is insanely frustrating. Just gotta hope it doesn't happen on a big down if you are running this more consistently. Man-to-man coverage, again, you're hoping X can get a good release out there. And then, nice tackle. This route should beat man, A should beat man, Y and X should hopefully beat press man, depending on the players you have and all that good stuff. Next setup is going to be corner A, drag B, Texas RB. A little bit of a weird looking setup. And it is kind of weird that the tight end is the A icon, I will be honest. I'm used to, just because of the side he's on, almost. But, like, here's man. Now, on the short side, it's a little bit tougher for him to really get open on that. And I'll show you what I mean, because I'm just going to respot the ball so he can cook. But here's zone. I mean, drag, Texas route open. This play's probably a little bit, or this specific setup's probably a little better from the short side. Here is man. And that's the kind of separation I was talking about, especially with a fast tight end. So, good man beaters. I mean, Y and X against man definitely should probably get open. We'll see if they do. They don't, because why would they when I talk about something? Out of normal verticals, they really should get open on that, and from what I've seen, they usually do. It's just so frustrating, man. But obvious kind of route combo here. You can't really defend them both. Just be careful not to get lurked. So our next play is going to be that red zone slot rub wheel. And this setup's a little bit weird, just play-wise. I mean, we have kind of X on a deep cross, but we're going to actually use that route. So I'm going to drag B, just corner A. You keep that hitch there. And then X is on, like, very quick snap route, like very quick post. He doesn't take his time with that route. So that means you got to just be careful and be ready to throw that football. So, boom. Hit him early, like right there. And it's really underrated, really good kind of play to almost mix in. It would almost certainly catch someone off guard with this play. I mean, and then you have the drag and the hitch. One of those will usually be open. Here's cover 2. So cover 2 is a little bit trickier, but I mean, he does still get open. He gets pressed a little bit there, which happens, but still open. Against man, he's not my favorite. I think he might get a little separation. We'll find out. So, I mean, heck, he does kind of get open there. So I guess it depends on the down. It's probably the similar situation where sometimes he gets open, sometimes he doesn't. But drag corner should help against man too. Anyways, last setup for this play is going to be slant B in RB, fade X, post A. Kind of looks like this. I guess in route would be here, and B would be on a slant. So it's going to look like this. Kind of a weird looking setup, but I do enjoy this setup. Little slant in route combo. You see he actually kind of helps pick up a block there, which is nice. I mean, heck, this could be a like obviously a hot route setup. Y is on a stock hitch for us, which of course helps, but he doesn't have. You could like of course hot route that yourself, and I mean he is open here. If your tight end's like getting bumped, could be unfortunate. Then you would want to hit that. Hopefully your tight end doesn't get bumped and is able to just kind of run that route normally, because I think he should come across open. He runs it very vertically there because the zone pushes him up naturally. But, yeah, I mean, just a solid spacing play. Our last setup is going to be middle slant, or our last play. And all I like to do for this play is wheel RB and put X on like a speed out. So we kind of use this route. He kind of gets open a lot of the time. I like this setup against match a lot. So if you're facing cover 4 out of this formation, I like this setup. I think the setup would be better from over here, probably, just to get that wheel route a little bit better, spacing wise. Wrong play. I need to remember to audible when I'm not. But yeah, like better spacing there. We get a bad throw, but most certainly was open. And I think it's just a good quick snap play. Like slant drag combo, I kind of like too, because you can't really use your both of them. And then he kind of has to go to the wheel route, so he naturally doesn't find a kind of go all the way to the right there. So good setup there. Last setup is going to be RPO read bubble, which is actually going to be pretty underrated. It's similar to like a normal trips tight end or a bunch tight end. Just simply the run is going to the other side. So overall, not bad at all. You can also keep it with your quarterback, which is kind of fun if you have a mobile QB. And the way you do that is just to hold the A button. Of course, if you wanted to hand it off, you would just do nothing at all. So don't touch anything, don't touch B or A, and you would hand the ball off. So yeah, I mean, simply reading that player, boom, throw it here, and now we can pick up 15. So that's honestly the best play out of the formation. Mix it in with like quick snap verticals, and you have a nice little mini scheme. But that's going to do it for the video. Let me know which college ebooks you want to see next. Hit that like, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.